Always a surprise.
I never know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, welcome to the newest BaconBit for the newest Marvel movie. What just happened?
That was the Marvel alert?
We're going to review Ant-Man and the Wasp, otherwise known as Ant-Man 2.
And this is going to be spoiler-free for the first little part of this, and then we'll let you know. We will let you know when we're going to start spoiling the movie.
With a new song created by Joel.
Of some sort.
Yeah, I guess I got to come up with that, don't I?
So remember, real quick, we saw the first one 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that was one of our first episodes, it feels like.
It was actually a full episode.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
It's called Ant-Mania. I'm not sure which episode number.
Well, welcome to the 20th Marvel movie, everybody.
Is this
episode
number 20?
16.
Whoa, that's crazy.
That's only
time ago.
episode 16.
It's a really special episode where we all really love that movie.
No, okay, so we should clarify. The last Ant-Man movie, none of us were fans of.
No.
Like, all of us rated it really low.
Usually we
we didn't really low. We did it middling is what it was.
Well, yeah, bad for Marvel, though. Like, I think I rated it as one of my least favorite Marvel movies.
You gave it what? A C plus minus something?
I think like 2.5 stars.
Two and a half,
and I
yeah.
really wanted to like it because it had the imagination of Edgar Wright, but a different director, obviously.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about today.
So, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm gonna go first.
You should go first because I think we already know your feelings based on conversations before the show from other people.
Absolutely. And I actually couldn't help but sharing things on Twitter because I saw the kind of feedback this movie got when the critic stuff came out, and it was overwhelmingly positive. And I honestly, generally, I'm like pretty like aggressive towards like Marvel, obviously.
What?
I know, right? Big surprise. This one I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand the love.
You don't understand the love.
This movie is so middling. There is nothing here.
No, Rotten Tomatoes, if you don't mind me tagging
Go
along,
for it.
Kent, because
Yeah.
I'm going to be in the exact same boat as you.
Yeah.
The Rotten Tomatoes description was like a nice palate cleanser for Marvel. You know, light, fluffy, a lot of fun,
Simple.
And I'm like, okay, what's happening right now? Like, how is anyone going out of this going, wow, that was a great piece of entertainment?
It's one of the blandest blockbusters I've seen in years.
It's so bland. There's not even a villain, and it's not even crisp editing or directing or acting or anything. Everything feels sloppy.
And in fact,
quick.
I would say the imagination of Edgar Wright, which they used for the first Ant-Man, whether it was like Thomas the Tank Engine or the fighting scenes, it's gone here. There is no.
They brought in like an echo of it, is what it was.
Yeah,
It
it's
felt like
like
they were trying to grab back to that a little bit, and it just
which
didn't
they showed in
work.
the trailers, which this is one I should not
Yeah.
have watched the trailer for, honestly.
Because it gave too much away?
It gave the cool, in quotes, upsizing or downsizing reveals away. Whereas then the movie had nothing. It had nothing.
No.
This was, excruciating is the wrong word. This movie was tedious for me to sit through because I was just like,
Wait, so was it vanilla or was it excruciating?
you know, not excruciating is too far, is what I'm saying. It was like, man, I really will never watch this movie again because I was bored.
I just never got engaged.
Engaged, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
How'd
never
you get married?
Yeah. I just skipped it. Thanks, Dad.
Ant-Man style humor.
But I will say,
Yeah.
like, it felt like everyone was sleepwalking in this movie, even Evangeline Lilly, and I think this was really her chance to shine.
Yeah.
I think Paul Rudd just did not give a care. Michael
No.
Douglas was camping it up like hardcore. The plot was the most simple thing, and I know people like it's not the end of the world story, but it was a stupid chase movie
It felt too contrived, and the chase movie part was so. Oh, and that elementary school thing really bugged me because
No,
it was like
there's potential there.
So it was potential, but it was so shoehorned.
But
it was
we'll
like,
get there.
you know what would be really funny? Oh yeah, no, we're
this movie's a D. It's a straight D for me.
A D?
It's a D. It was
D plus.
D plus?
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm disagreeing with you guys.
Really?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat that this movie was really
can't-
good.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was really good.
Right.
But I think I may like it more than the original Ant-Man.
What?
Well,
Yeah. And I don't know why. Because
Well,
I'll tell you,
I mean,
when we get into the spoiler version, I'll
Yeah.
talk about it a little bit more. But there are things I was picking apart, like this is kind of annoying and this bothers me and that wasn't that funny. But then I was like, why am I not more offended? Why am I not more bored? Why
There's
am I
nothing.
not more?
There's nothing offensive here. It's just boring, though.
No, but the thing is, I wasn't bored, and I wasn't like it was. I remember thinking to myself, why am I not? This sounds weird, but why am I not liking this movie more? There's so many reasons I should hate it, but I kept being kind of like pulled on, being like, okay, I'm fine. And so in the end, I kind of ended up in the average score. Like I'd give this one a straight C, where I'm like, yeah. So I gave it, well, not a C. I give it 3 stars.
So
Ugh.
3 stars over 2.5
This
stars.
is like
for the first one.
this is warm tapioca pudding right here.
Rice pudding.
No, there's nothing good here. I mean, this is
No,
stuff-
but I think it definitely has its charm. If you were a fan of, if you really liked the first one, this has a lot of the same elements, and it's going to be enjoyable for that reason.
but reheated.
It is
in
reheated.
every way.
Reheat is the perfect expression.
No,
for it.
and you mentioned the no villain thing. I think I actually kind of liked the villain they had here, and I liked her.
Oh,
You didn't?
Oh, no, not at all. This was
I like the idea. I just didn't like the execution.
after 2 good Marvel villains this year with
What
Thanos.
was that? 2
I know,
good
no,
Marvel
with
villains?
Killmonger.
Who is this
and,
guy?
And Thanos. This movie makes me like those movies more because this movie was just a softball. It's like
It was. It was a softball.
Well, and I think it is kind of weird to put this movie after the big tentpole of Infinity War, where it was like climax, big huge movie, boom. Oh, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And it was kind of like, why are we doing this now?
and everyone's like, where does this fit? I don't even care. I'm just going to watch this movie with a lot of comedy that doesn't land.
I thought it landed. I thought a lot of it did land though.
All right. Are we ready to move on?
Is that it?
Spoilers?
Is that where we're going?
That quick. So
I mean, I want to talk about more,
D
but-
plus 3 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my lowest graded Marvel movie.
Is it?
It's
Yeah.
tier 3.
Well, here's,
It is.
Okay, here's the weird thing, because I was talking to my brother Mike about this, and I said, yeah, I think I rated this as like my least favorite Marvel movie. But then I'm like, well, Joel, what about Iron Man 3? What about Thor: The Dark World?
Yeah.
And I
It's
realized, I realized that I probably don't hate Ant-Man as much as I think I do. It's just maybe I expected more from it.
Yeah, that's
Whereas
probably it.
Iron Man 3 was just a train wreck, and
Right.
Thor: The Dark World was just forgettable. So I don't think this is. I no longer think Ant-Man is maybe my lowest rated. But even then, it's the lowest rated of the Marvel movies. It's not like I hate this movie. It's not like a Tyler Perry movie where it's absolutely terrible, because it's watchable. It's enjoyable. The effects are fine. It's fun to watch, but it's not going to leave you going, like, you're not going to be on the edge of your seat the entire time. Be like, what's
Sounds
gonna
like you're describing
happen?
Iron Man 3, actually.
This movie treats its audience like morons. Like, it actually is saying,
What?
No. In every scene, they're like, the science doesn't work. Push the science button. The science doesn't work. Push the science levers. And I'm like, the physics in this movie, the stupid explanation for this quantum realm, because they don't even try. And I know that if you get too deep, you go Inception and you're like, the exposition is killing the entire experience. But they don't even try. They treat the audience like they're watching a kid's cartoon, and they're like, something happened and we fixed it. And I'm like, this is stupid. I mean, it's not even a plot hole at this point. It's a plot. It's a hole of a movie. Because it's the explanations are the dumbest thing.
All right. I think we need to get into spoilers.
Are we not in spoilers?
Wait, I was going to say you weren't giving any spoilers there.
The
but-
science button, that was a spoiler.
Yeah. Okay, Joel, let's hear your song.
Spoiler. Ant-Man.
And the Wasp.
Hey, nice job, Ken.
Nice. Yeah, that works.
All right, we can get into this.
So
now.
even when I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I hope this movie has some flavor at some point. I need like a distinct flavor to come out of this and not just, tapioca pudding.
Yeah.
And Walter Goggins shows up, who's
Walton Goggins.
Isn't it
Best-
Walter?
It's Walton for some
Walton?
reason.
Oh.
But yeah, when Walton Goggins came on the screen, you're like, oh, here we go.
Here he goes. And he was as bland as I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen him that bland.
Not even bland. It was hokey.
Yeah, it was hokey. He's like disengaged. He phoned it in.
You two should not sit by each other in movies, apparently.
We didn't
Because
talk.
brain trust here. That's what happened.
The hate radiates is what happened.
No, it's
Not
So-
even. It was
you
like,
guys, no, you guys were quantum entangled in hate.
Joel, did you watch enough Justified to get to see Walton Goggins in
Yeah.
action?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's
a great
he's
actor.
No,
compelling.
as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh, he's going to be bad.
here's
guy.
Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that building. Give me that building. I'm like, this whole movie
he's a
is
goon.
about a building.
He's nothing but a goon.
Yeah.
Like that's it. He
the
plays
whole movie is about a building chase.
It is.
A building chase.
They're
Ken,
chasing a
That's
building.
a suitcase, by the way. When things shrink, they're supposed to keep the big mass that they always had.
Right.
Which, the broken physics of the tank. I'm going to get way too much into the science here, but you can just pick up the building at will.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing, is I remember last time we talked about that, we're like, isn't the whole point of Ant-Man that when you shrink down to a smaller size, you still maintain your mass and are able to hit
Yes.
with the same type of force
Yes.
and have the same weight?
The
And
movie
then-
does whatever it wants.
No, but then they had the tank, and everyone was kind of like, well, wait, what about that? And I think they saw that, went, all right, we're doubling down on this plot hole, and we're just
That is
going
what
to
they
not
did.
even care about
Yeah.
it.
And do you know why? Because they have the director of Bring It On, his best movie, Peyton Reed, who is a guy that Marvel can just tell what to do. They're like,
That's all that happened.
make this movie,
It's
and we're going to
flavorless.
have guys from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. write the script for you, and they're going to add some levity, and audiences will just eat it up. And I'm sorry. I say this a lot about Marvel movies, but when the end happened, when the rest of the cast disappeared in the Infinity War and turned into dust, we're in spoilers, right? That's okay.
Yeah, we're in spoilers. It's during the credits.
And this is the post-credit scene.
The crowd,
mid-credits.
Or mid-credits,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I know I say this as insulting the crowd a lot, but they were like, am I just like on my high horse? Because I look down on people when they're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, are you kidding me?
You kind of are up on a high horse.
Is that a surprise to you?
It's not a surprise, but the whole time you're like wondering how it's going to fit in. Like, I honestly thought, and maybe this is going to happen in the next Spider-Man movie, I thought it was going to end with them seeing the big circle vehicle of Thanos in the sky. But here's the thing that I want to know, and I kind of want to figure this out, but I don't want to bring it up because you guys are so full of hate right now.
I'm just disillusioned right now.
But how does this fit into the timeline then? Because they said that Scott couldn't be there, but when they were sending him into the quantum realm, that
means he couldn't be there because he had the ankle bracelet.
No, but house arrest ended, and it had to be, I don't know, a couple weeks before they were doing that quantum entanglement thing on the roof. Because it ended at the end of the movie, before the credits, he gets off house arrest.
In Infinity War, they explained it that both he and Hawkeye wanted to spend time with their families at this tough time.
I guess, but it just seemed kind of like, well, he would have gone to help them. And this was,
in fact, it doesn't matter. I mean, they don't want him there yet, so he's not there yet. Because logically, he has his own movie coming out, so don't give him screen time.
But
in
now,
Infinity War.
once again, spoiler alert, he's stuck.
Well, and
he can't
actually
get out to help. They found a way to keep him away from the
both
battle.
He and Captain Marvel will save the day in Infinity War.
How's Captain Marvel going to get him out?
The quantum realm?
Yeah.
I mean, we could do a whole
He'll probably get out
this.
of the quantum realm before it even starts.
Actually, the quantum realm will be the thing that brings them back in time. Because they have to go back in time to the original Avengers and save the day.
Well, and they're going to use the time stone.
Don't spoil things. Don't spoil things. Little devil.
We're in the spoiler section? I don't know.
He's spoiling future movies.
Yeah, I am.
I don't want to know what they're going to do.
Yeah, but Kent's been wrong
Jerk.
before.
He has.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the time.
When?
Oh, yes, Captain America's going to be assassinated on the court stairs.
Well, he was in the comics, and he should have been.
Exactly.
He should have been in the movies. Anyways, look, Paul Rudd, I just didn't find him charming in the least in this movie. I think he shined the first one. And the chemistry, or should I say lack of chemistry, between he and Evangeline Lilly.
Zero.
They force a kiss at the end, and I'm like, not earned.
I disagree.
Really?
I think they worked well together.
All she did was boss him around.
Yeah.
There was no chemistry. There was no liveliness.
The character development between the end of the first movie and the end of the second one is basically like, oh, they're in the exact same place.
Well, because
Nothing
they took a step
happened.
back.
Nothing happened.
Because they got in the fight, and so then they stepped back.
Yeah, but I don't want to see that. That's
What
not
is this,
progression
National
of
Treasure
characters.
2?
Yeah, that's basically
Well,
it.
I still don't understand why you guys didn't like Ghost. I thought that
With Patrick Swayze?
Hannah John Kamen. I thought she did a really good job in that role as this person who her whole motivation was she wanted to stop hurting.
Job. She did
okay, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry, someone that can phase in and out of stuff catches up to someone that can go incredibly small. Like the logic there of how she was even formidable to these characters is ridiculous.
I don't think it was ridiculous because like they were growing big and small trying to kick her. She was phasing in and out trying to get them. They weren't equal powers.
How could she catch them in any way?
You wanted someone that could shrink and grow. You wanted an equal but opposite villain. Is that what you wanted,
No,
Kent?
because that's a Marvel problem. I think she was a terrible villain. She was like a C-list villain.
No, but the thing is, she wasn't exactly a villain. She was someone who just wanted the pain to stop.
Well, and
she'll be forgotten about tomorrow.
It's not a problem with the villain. It's a problem with the movie because the stakes aren't high enough. Because it's just this misunderstood girl, right? And she's never villainous. She's never after them. It never feels like
she
a
does
threat.
kill people.
Does she?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
We forgot.
She's so
Honestly,
low key.
we forgot.
Yeah, I don't know.
At one
guys
point,
it looks like
really
she's going to be part of the Avengers next movie.
At one
I
point,
think.
Lawrence Fishburne was surrounded by giant ants, and I said, that is a low point in your career, man. Like, seriously?
So much hate.
I just can't believe that people are just like swallowing this.
Well,
I think it was so like it's not offensive at all. It
sounds pretty offensive based on what you two are saying.
It's a fine movie for kids, but that's about as far as it goes.
It is definitely a kid's superhero movie.
Yes,
like older kid, like tweens or something like that. This is their type of superhero
Do you think?
movie. I think so.
Think it's for Gen Zers?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, I just don't think that you guys were sitting there bashing on it. I'm like, it wasn't terrible. It was fine.
No, here's the problem.
Tedious.
Here's the fun. If it came back at 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, I'd say, yeah, all right, whatever.
It barely came out like today.
What's that? I don't even know.
I don't know.
It was high last I saw it.
I'm sure the shills are out in force.
Yeah, if it's at like 94%, then I'm annoyed
The next
because
Casablanca.
exactly right. It's just so low
No
key.
one's saying
and
that.
everyone's like, "Oh wow, just so refreshing! What a nice change of pace." And I'm like, "No, it's lazy. Like, is the nice change of pace is that they stop putting effort into movies? Is that the change of pace?
87% with 165
It felt like-
reviews.
It is not
so
that fresh.
Going on with the elementary scene, I was like, "Oh man, this could be so funny," and it just didn't land for me.
No,
and
it
I was
didn't
like,
land.
There's potential there.
It was
Why couldn't
shoehorned
you
and it didn't
capitalize
land.
on
What more
that?
did you want? He got shrunk down and had to wear a funny
Joel,
coat.
You've seen funny movies before.
Yeah.
You know comedy,
Yeah.
right? There is something that anyone else that wrote that better or directed that better, it could have gone so many great places.
I think is the directing, honestly.
And all it was is he was small and he ran away in a big hoodie. And he jumped down some stairs. And I was like, there's something better here. I know it. Any other director, and Edgar Wright, for example, could have made this unforgettable.
What would he have done?
I don't know. That's why he's so good at it.
So you're holding it to a standard that you don't even know exists or not.
A standard of good quality, not even great quality.
well, no,
Okay.
that's kind of the idea. You go to a movie, you see something you've never seen before, not something that feels recycled.
Yeah.
And it felt more recycled.
So you've seen another movie where a person gets shrunk down to half size and has to pass off as a toddler in an elementary school?
Obviously. It's basically my early years.
I don't know what you guys ate for breakfast this morning, but you guys are in grumpy, grumpy moods.
It's honestly this movie and how much I just don't. I will never remember this movie. Jake and I are even like, what movie was that again?
Yeah.
It's just so average.
I'd forgot it the next day. I haven't given it a second thought.
Jake,
since.
what was your
It's over a
great
week ago.
quote about the movie?
Yeah. So, what this movie lacks in genius, it makes up for with mediocrity.
Because that's just it. There's just nothing there.
Yeah. That was what I said after we got out.
Oh, wow. That's good, Jacob.
Joel really
Yeah,
likes
that
it.
was really good.
Joel really likes it.
Joel, we're
that
not
was
offending
amazing.
you. We're just saying this movie was like dull.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys are sitting there just bashing it like, this is the worst that people even like it ever, and I hate everything about it, but it's just okay.
No, it's not okay. It's a D. It's a D. That's a bad score.
It's a D plus.
It's 3 stars. I liked it. And I don't know why. I kept being like,
I know, I'm not sure either.
I kept being like, I should hate this movie more, and I don't know why, but I liked
It's
it.
even like, it's like, oh, there's the Hello Kitty Pez thing. Let's telegraph that a mile away. Michael Pena wasn't even fun.
He wasn't funny.
Like
He
they
was
had
funny
the
in
one
last
scene where they're like, oh, let's do a reheated scene of what he did in the last movie.
Yeah.
And
that was the best part.
No, there was a point when they were like, at the end, they're like,
Kent's got his, I'm worked up, but I'm trying to be calm eyes.
the guy's like, yeah, I totally have that. But the guy's like, it is truth serum. And I seriously went, I started laughing because I was just like, I haven't laughed once. And like,
I
someone
laughed
helped
multiple
me.
times during this movie.
Like,
It
out
was
loud?
telegraphed.
Yeah.
That joke was telegraphed too far.
Oh, well, when he said that it really is truth serum, yes, that was telegraphed. But there was a bunch of times when I laughed during the movie, and I kind of went, that was actually pretty funny.
And I'm sorry, Michelle Pfeiffer comes out of the quantum realm, and she has these
With magic
unexplained
fingers.
powers. She's like, I can solve anything.
And there was something
touch you.
like, well, if this woman, if Ghost goes into this box, then she can pull Michelle Pfeiffer powers out from wherever she is in the quantum realm. And I'm like, how? How does she know
'Cause
there's
the-
powers? How does
because
she
of
know
the science button,
she's
Jake.
in the quantum realm? How does she know that she can pull these powers? I don't like understand any connection here. It's just like,
Guys don't understand quantum physics. Just what I'm telling you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We must not understand.
okay. So we highly recommend this movie. Kit and I, if you want to go and spend money for something that you could,
It's a total waste of time.
yeah.
No, I've there's much worse movies out there.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening to this Bacon Bit.
I don't know what you guys ate for breakfast this morning, but you guys are in grumpy, grumpy moods.